entrepreneurship is such a risk. Success, most of the time, it requires some kind of risk. There's never a guarantee that anything is going to work out the way you want it to. And we always have to weigh up that risk versus the reward. And I think in business, it's more true than anywhere else. There's always going to be the risk that your new idea for an offer isn't going to sell. But then the potential upside is that it does sell and you help a bunch of people and it becomes really profitable. Welcome to Imperfect Action. I'm Steph Taylor. For years, I read all the books, downloaded all the freebies, and did all the courses. But it wasn't until I started taking imperfect action that my business had its first $1 million year. Imperfect action is about doing things before you're ready, prioritizing consistent action over perfect action, and moving forward, even when you're not sure you're doing it right. On this show, you can expect mindset advice, actionable marketing tips, and strategies to build a business that brings you more profit, more freedom, and even more joy. Are you on the list to get my daily Biz Boosters? Every day, I'll send you a bite-sized prompt designed to help you grow your business in a more intentional way. Sign up at stephtaylor.co/DBB or at the link in the show notes. Hey, welcome back to Imperfect Action. This is episode 698. Today, I'm sharing with you a couple of the books that I've read and loved this year that have had a bit of an impact on my business, as well as a couple of the ones that are coming up next on my reading list. Most of the successful people that I have come across in business, in life, they all spend a lot of time reading books. And what I've noticed is I don't think it's so much about the actual strategies or the tactics that the books tell you about. It's more about the actual art of reading. It's the ideas that come up when you're in that meditative state of reading. It's the new perspectives and new ways of seeing the world that you might not have otherwise considered, but now you're seeing it through the author's perspective. And this is why I'm not a fan of those book summaries, right? You know how you can buy like the Spark Notes version basically of a lot of these books, but I'm not a fan of those because I don't think it allows you to have that meditative state. It doesn't allow you to be in the author's perspective and look at a new way of looking at the world. And personally, I don't love audiobooks. That's just how I struggle to consume information that way. But then I have a lot of friends who that's the only way that they can read. So if, reading an audiobook is going to help you to read more, then do that. But for me personally, I need to read the actual words on a page, whether that's a physical book or whether that's on my Kindle. Now, this year, I haven't actually read a lot of purely business books, right? I haven't read a lot of the tactical stuff because I feel like I don't get that much out of them anymore. It's a lot of people just regurgitating the same stuff that we've heard over and over again. But the books that I have read that aren't business related have had a really big impact on my business. Now, these are 5 of them that I highly recommend getting onto your reading list because I enjoyed them so much. Number 1, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This was a really easy read. I got through about 80% of this book on a 4-hour plane flight. And basically the book dives deep into why we make the decisions that we make when it comes to money, making money, saving money, spending money, investing money. And I actually really love this quote from the book that I think will give you a great idea of why this book is relevant. So the quote is, "Every decision people make with money is justified by taking the information they have at the moment and plugging it into their unique mental model of how the world works. Those people can be misinformed. They can have incomplete information. They can be bad at math. They can be persuaded by rotten marketing. They can have no idea what they are doing. They can misjudge the consequences of their actions. Oh, can they ever? But every financial decision a person makes sense to them in that moment and checks the boxes they need to check. They tell themselves a story about what they're doing and why they're doing it, and that story has been shaped by their own unique experiences." So that was a quote from this book, and this book looks at the reasoning behind why we make the decisions that we make. It's so fascinating, especially if you're somebody who thinks your relationship with money could be better and maybe you feel a little bit of shame around your decisions that you've made around money, this book will shift that big time. Number 2, Find Your Red Thread by Tamsin Webster. Now, I saw Tamsin speak at Social Media Marketing World in 2022, and after I watched her keynote, I downloaded her book. And then I didn't read it until this year. It sat there in my Kindle library for way too long. And the key idea behind Tamsin's book is that the best way to make your ideas irresistible is to build the stories that people will tell themselves about your idea. So if you are trying to sell someone on any idea, whether that's something in your marketing, whether it's your offer, whether it's something in your sales processes, it's so much easier to build a story around it and to build the story that your people, your audience are going to tell themselves about it. Because if you just tell somebody, this is what it is, this is the way it is, you're wrong, this idea is right, they're probably going to not pay attention, or they are going to be coming up with a million reasons why you're wrong and they are right. So instead, Tamsin shares a really actionable framework. This is probably the closest book to a business book in this list. And she shares this framework around how to build the story that people are going to tell themselves around your idea. Number 3 on the list is definitely not a business book, and it's QF32 by Richard de Crepigny. I really probably have not pronounced that well. It's one of the best leadership books that I've ever read, and it's about Qantas Flight 32 that in 2010 had an engine explode shortly after takeoff out of Singapore's Changi Airport. And after the engine exploded, all of the things started going wrong, right? All of the different systems in the plane started going wrong. And the author was the captain of the flight, and he and his crew had to basically, they had to go into crisis management mode and land this plane safely with 469 people on board. And why it's such a great leadership book is because it looks at how the captain, the author, managed to keep his team from panicking and also managed to keep the flight attendants and all of the passengers from panicking when they could literally look out of the window and see that there was, there were holes in the wing. Like it didn't look great. So it's a great book on that. It's also really just fascinating. And weirdly, it's made me feel a lot safer flying. I don't know why, but it just has. It made me realize that planes don't just fall out of the sky. Number 4 is also not a business book by any means, and it is called Against All Odds by Craig Challen and Dr. Richard Harris. So these are the 2 Aussies who helped to rescue the kids that were trapped in a flooded cave in Thailand a couple of years ago. This is such a great book about leadership and about risk. So even though it's not a business book, it was really interesting to look at how they both displayed leadership skills and how they weighed up the risk of sedating and diving these kids out of the flooded cave versus the inevitability that the kids were going to die if they didn't get rescued. I'm also currently reading Dr. Richard Harris's next book, his most recent book called The Art of Risk, which is very relevant to anyone who has started their own business, because starting a business is a huge risk. Entrepreneurship is such a risk. Success, most of the time, it requires some kind of risk. There's never a guarantee that anything is going to work out the way you want it to. And we always have to weigh up that risk versus the reward. And I think in business, it's more true than anywhere else. There's always going to be the risk that your new idea for an offer isn't going to sell. But then the potential upside is that it does sell and you help a bunch of people and it becomes really profitable. So there's always the risk versus that reward. And I think any books where we're looking at risks that people have taken, it can be such a great reminder that risk is a very normal part of life and it's a very normal required part of success. Okay. And then number 5, The Catalyst, How to Change Anyone's Mind by Jonah Berger. If you are a coach, course creator, marketer, you are in the business of behavior change. And helping someone to change their behavior is really, really challenging because Humans are wired to keep doing the same things over and over again because it keeps us safe. If we can predict how something is going to turn out, then we are going to stay alive because we know, oh, we've done this before, it's worked out, and it's safe. Our brains are wired to keep us safe. Now, this book walks you through Jonah's framework for removing the barriers and the roadblocks to change and creating the catalyst for someone to change. And this actually might be the most useful marketing book that I've read this year. Even though it's not technically a marketing book or even a business book, it's really useful because so much of marketing, sales, and then obviously working with my students in my courses, so much of that requires taking them along this journey of change. And like I said, if you're a coach, a course creator, a marketer, any kind of digital product creator, you are in the business of behavior change, you will find this book really useful. Okay, and then I have 3 books that are coming up next on my reading list. Number 1 is 4,000 Weeks, Time and How to Use It by Oliver Burkeman. I actually listened to Oliver on the Imperfects podcast recently, and it was such an interesting episode, such an interesting interview around how we manage our time. And I want to read this book because I'm so guilty of saying yes to everything and thinking that I have endless time to get all of the things done, when in reality, I need to be a little bit more selective with what I say yes to and a little bit more intentional with the time that I do have. The next one on the list is Alchemy, The Surprising Power of Ideas That Don't Make Sense by Rory Sutherland. This book is a book about ideas, about being less logical, about thinking outside of the box. And I'm excited to read this one because I am such an ideas person. I love reading about ideas, where they come from, what we do with them. And I don't know, I'm interested to hear just a different perspective on ideas that work and don't work. And then the final one is The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, because I, like most of us, spend way too much time trying to change and control the things that I can't actually change or control, when it would be so much easier to just accept these things and stop wasting my energy trying to change or control them, and instead focus on the things that I actually can control. So there you have it. That's 8 books to add to your reading list. If you're a fan of reading, if you're not a fan of reading, it might be a new habit to try to get into. It's one of the best habits that I've got into for sure. And I know it can be really time consuming, but it's so much more valuable than flopping on the couch and watching Netflix in the evening. Now, if you've learned anything from any of the episodes on this show, I would really appreciate it if you could take just 30 seconds to leave a quick rating and a review. I read every single one of them. It means so much to me when you do take the time to do that. And that is it for today's episode. So thank you so much for listening. Catch you next time.